Christian Church of America, it is Thursday once again, and we got some more things to talk about. Gear. How many golf clubs does one person need? That was ridiculous. I realized after watching some of my own videos, got to get the views up somehow, realized that some of you out there may have no idea what I'm talking about, because I referenced, in the last one at least, I referenced, you know, the show, and how the church is publicizing themselves, and they're more concerned with publicizing themselves than they are actually helping those in need. And so I kind of wanted to expound on that a little bit and talk about the kind of what I mean by the show. There's been all this statistical analysis and surveys and different things. There's all this research and everything that goes into making sure that the Sunday morning service appeals to people that these surveys say, you know, go to church or whatever. Problem is, the church has created this show, this semblance of holiness, and this again fake world that they promote on Sunday mornings. And if you've been into a church or you watch a televised anything of a church, you're going to see it, because, you know, they have a certain kind of music that's set up to evoke an emotional response. They have, you know, the mood lighting is set, and again, it's to evoke a response, an emotional response. And then the pastor gets up there with their very calculated message that's going to last, you know, precisely 36 minutes. And then they're going to have their carefully crafted prayer. There's been this extra effort to create this place and atmosphere that, you know, where the music's done in such a way that evokes an emotional response, and the lighting is done in such a way that evokes an emotional response, to get you prepared for the message that, again, is going to try to evoke an emotional response. And this is all from the perspective of somebody that goes to church, has been going to church for a long time, and is involved in the church even to this day. So a lot of the stuff are things that I'm part of, and it annoys me. But anyway, so you start off, and there's, like, you know, the happy upbeat song, and then there's some churches have, you know, what's called the meet and greet time, which is all, it's timed, it's part of the show, and it's a chance for everybody to go basically fake it, look happy and lie. It looks all happy, and from the outside you're like, what is this, and why do I not feel like these people? More happy songs, and they have to stay positive. Got to make sure that they stay positive. You can't talk, you know, in the song bit of the service that's for songs, you can't be any songs that are like, yeah, God, everything sucks, but you know what, I'm gonna worship you anyway. Upbeat, yay, happy, positive. But there's always that bit where there's gonna be, like, you know, the keyboard like synthy fill stuff while somebody comes up and talks with their emotional voice, and they reiterate just how awesome things are. And then you have the part that, well, usually there's like announcements or some kind of weird transition, something that again is scripted out and completely disingenuous. And then that segues into the message, whatever the message may be. I'm not going to negate having a message. It's awesome. That's why we go to church, is to learn, to worship God, to you know, perhaps see things that are revealed in the Bible that we didn't see, or just, you know, be inspired some. So that's cool, whatever. But so then there's this carefully calculated message, and then there's the calculated response time, and that's to give you a chance after the light show and the music and all that to respond. And again, you know, if you're moved by something, you want to pray and talk to God and everything, that's totally cool. I'm talking about this from the perspective of a production, because that's what it is. It is a production. It is a show. Church has gotten so obsessed with the hype and promoting themselves, and there's so much competition within churches. When somebody comes into a church, they want to show you that they've got it together and they are where you should go. So what we're going to show is, you know, that we're happy people, and we all get along, and we have, you know, great connections and great relationships with one another, and it's this wonderful, like, family type atmosphere, and we all come in and, like, you know, make it look as though there are zero problems in our lives. And they encourage this atmosphere of, you know, lying and talking about how great everything is. And that's because in the publicity of our church services, we've got to make sure that that's in place, because that's what we need to show. We need to show everybody that everything is perfect. And because it helps with selling the church, supposedly. I actually know of churches that will hire intentionally a band and singers and stuff that are all under 30 years old to be on the worship team, the music team, that are all you know, relatively attractive. Let's just be honest, they're the quintessential what you'd find attractive young people. And they will intentionally do this and not let people of different ages and they look different ways on the team, regardless of talent, purely because of that's what they've found people respond to. There's actually been studies done on the vocal range that people respond to in music. So they will intentionally try to find somebody that fits into that vocal range, like fits into, you know, soprano or tenor or whatever it is. Like, these are actual studies that the church has done. And this is why, like, you know, if you've seen some of the other videos and I'm just raging against these things, this is why. Is because we have a church that claims to follow God and follow Jesus and try to do God's will. And yet we will do psychological studies and evaluations and try to manipulate people into an emotional response to get the numbers of our church up. So you do this show, and it should show, like, you know, our lives are fantastic. You want to be part of this. You want to come to our church, and you want part of this greatness that we have. Because, you know, the church is trying to get members, and they're trying to get, I mean, honestly, they're, to an extent, trying to get money. What we should do is live by biblical principles, live a life of love, show something beyond what people get every single day in how we live and how we act and how we treat people and how we address bad situations, and stop acting like everything's just perfect. We need to cut the show and show some love. And the problem is, the show has taken such priority that there is nothing beyond that. Everything is orchestrated to make the show look good. And people come into the show and they want to be accepted by the show, so then they're party to the show. When you put all this effort into creating this, you know, this basically hour-long spectacle, including ushers and all the different things, and it's just it's why all the other things happen. So it's why the lack of love is there. It's why there's the judgment and encouraging of lying. It's why the church is no longer a place for the hurting, is to maintain the appearance. If you look, truthfully, since the church gave up on actually, you know, biblical principles, since the church gave up on what it was supposed to be doing, since the church took it in their own hands to, you know, create this show and their own agenda of what should be done, and since that time, when the studies and everything started being done, that people don't view Christianity as a genuine thing anymore, because it's presented in such a fake, scripted way. Because we've taken out the realism. We've taken out giving God glory for the things that He's done. We've removed giving God credit for, you know, where we used to be and where we are now. We've made it so that it's just lies and judgment. You have to lie, and if you don't, you're judged. We've turned it into that to make this spectacle that people can come to. It's since the church has started that pursuit and become disingenuous and fake and presenting things in a completely fake manner. I mean, half the time whenever somebody prays in a church service, it doesn't even come across genuine. It doesn't seem like they have any reverence for the God of all creation. And, you know, as we've removed God from the church, and the church has complained about the government removing God from everything else, That's where we've seen a decline. It's not from any other agenda. It's not from anything. Church, you've done it to yourselves. Cut the show. Be genuine. Let people be real again. Accept that this life is not 100% perfect, and it never will be. The Bible says the complete opposite. That life on this earth is not perfect, and it won't be. If your life is perfect, where does God's strength come in? It doesn't. Let's be real. Let's be genuine. If you do have faith in God, let it be real. If you have faith in Jesus, let it be genuine. You know, you may have a good life. That's awesome, but you haven't always had a good life. You may be able to find joy in different circumstances, but you haven't always found joy in different circumstances. Never forget where you came from, because there's somebody else there. I'm going to leave this at that. Oh, there's a crane right over the road. I don't know why I find that so intriguing, but I do. That is crazy. Okay, that's cool. I don't know why that's cool. My inner, 4-year-old just came out. Anyway, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. Let me know that you like it. If you don't like it, leave me a comment. Just let me know why. You can also leave me a comment as well, just because, if you did like it, or you just want to say hey. So, yeah. Definitely subscribe for more. I do have new videos up every Thursday, Tuesday, and Saturday. Yes, I did that out of order. OCD people, I'm sorry. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching, and bye.